So we've had almost a couple of weeks to digest the fact that Liv Morgan is now a two-time women's world champion, making her a three-time champion altogether. She defeated she defeated Stephanie Vaquer to become champion at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble back in January in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, now we are just less than a week away from Backlash, and it seems like Liv Morgan is looking to defend her title at Backlash. But the question is, who will step up to that challenge? Honestly, there aren't a whole lot of women that would be more than a challenge for Liv Morgan, because most of the women that's on the roster on Raw are all in a tag team. Those are the likes of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, the Bella Twins. Who else? Who else? Obviously the Judgment Day. Obviously the other two members of the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Um, so it basically just comes down to one of only a few: Stephanie Vaquer, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. However, however, let's just keep it real. There's only three. If I'm being completely honest, there's only three that would be more than a challenge for Liv Morgan. One of them is obviously the former champion Stephanie Vaquer. Reason being is because she is indeed owed a rematch, in spite of the fact that those two ladies tore the house down on WrestleMania Saturday. Excuse me, which ultimately became an instant classic, even in spite of what fans, even in spite of what fans on social media may believe about WrestleMania Saturday. It truly was a historic weekend for WWE because of the fact that we saw more than at least almost a dozen new talent make their way to the main roster, which included Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Lash Legend, and of course as well Stephanie Vaquer, who had only been with WWE for less than a year, which is insane. But because that Vaquer is owed a rematch for that title, I'm pretty sure Liv Morgan would have no problems defending the title once again against Stephanie Vaquer at a later time. But I don't think it's going to be Backlash, simply because of what happened this past Monday on Raw. So that is the first one. Stephanie Vaquer is definitely the first one. The second one is Becky Lynch. I mean, what can I say? Becky two belts one more time? I'd be down for it. I don't know about you guys, but I would be 100% down to see that take place. That would be hella cool. And the third, this might be a bit of an unpopular hot take, but Roxanne Perez. If you guys saw this past Monday on Raw, if you saw this past Monday on Raw, you will know that Roxanne Perez was hella conflicted with what both Liv Morgan and what Finn Balor said to Roxanne in regards to each other. Obviously Liv Morgan talking about how Finn Balor betrayed the Judgment Day and all that, and then of course Balor telling Roxanne that the Judgment Day will just throw her out and all that. honestly, if if Roxanne had to choose between the Judgment Day and Finn Balor, you would have to ask yourself who is more correct, who is in the right. Is it the Judgment Day or is it Finn Balor? The way I see it, they're both in the right because right now Judgment Day is slowly shaping up to be a much more better version of itself than we've seen in the last year. But at the same time, when it comes to the Judgment Day, it just isn't the same. It just isn't the same, and the main reason for it is because of the fact that they kicked out the three OGs of of the group. That being Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. So with that, and because that the Terror Twins are on SmackDown as champions, and Finn Balor is still on Raw, one has to wonder if Finn Balor was right about the Judgment Day the whole time. Is Roxanne making a bad decision staying with the Judgment Day? And the answer is yes. Because while it is true that yes, she did become a tag team champion as part of the Judgment Day, she was only there. She was only a champion because of Liv Morgan's injury, and when they lost the titles, Roxanne Perez, all she kept doing was just constantly contemplating her decisions, asking herself, was this the right thing to do? And honestly, I don't think it was. I don't think it was, and I think at some point, yes, we are going to see a babyface version of Roxanne Perez at some point. I think now would be the perfect time because with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are being the only two members of the Judgment Day that are champions at the moment, right? At the moment, because right now Dominic has to deal with El Grande Americano, who won the Rey de Reyes tournament not that long ago, actually, where the winner of the tournament would face Dominic for the AAA Mega title at a later time, which I'm assuming it might take place at Triple Mania later this year. It could, but we still don't know who's going to be the one true El Grande Americano because there's two. So who knows? But my honest opinion, Roxanne Perez does need to break away from the Judgment Day and focus on herself and focus on becoming a champion on Raw. And I think Liv Morgan could potentially be that one. I think Roxanne Perez could be the one. But between those three, who should be champion? Who should be the number one contender? Definitely not Becky Lynch, because we know that if we saw her become Becky Two Belts again, her ego would just skyrocket to the moon, and it would not be pretty. It would not be pretty, and the entire WWE universe would never live it down. Not even once. So that brings us to two. Roxanne Perez or Stephanie Vaquer. Crazy enough, we know that both of these women have had multiple battles over the last couple of years, dating back to their time in NXT, and I think it's safe to say that anytime we see those two in the ring, it's always going to be an instant classic, and usually it is. But this is one decision that is so tricky because we would have to base this on on one question, and the question being, who would be a bigger threat, excuse me, to Liv Morgan's reign as Women's World Champion? Excuse me. Is it someone that she took the title from in the first place, or is it one of her own Judgment Day brethren, if you will, sisterin, if you will, in the form of Roxanne Perez? It's interesting because there's an old expression that goes, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, meaning that you never know who the hell is gonna stab you in the back. You have no idea who's gonna pull that trigger, and I think it's gonna be all eyes on Roxanne Perez. I think Roxanne at some point is going to turn her back on the Judgment Day, turning babyface, which is something that fans have been clamoring to see for a while. Because let's be real, let's just keep it real. Heel Roxanne Perez has taken its toll. The entire WWE universe has gotten back on the side of Roxanne Perez, and we saw this past Monday on Raw, when it was in Laredo, Texas, Roxanne's hometown. We heard the fans chant Roxy, Roxy, literally almost like it's almost as if they want to see Roxanne Perez turn babyface. They want her to be babyface Roxy again, and we could very may well see it. So if I were to choose, or rather predict, between Stephanie Vaquer and Roxanne Perez, I think it's going to be Roxanne Perez challenging Liv Morgan for the Women's World title at a later time, but we don't know when that will be, and we don't know exactly when she will pull the trigger and go after Liv Morgan and the Women's World title. But if you guys feel like that I am wrong, and you feel like that someone else should be the first challenger, then you guys can let me know in the comments below. And that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.